at its heart, Gasparilla is about our community. It's the way that we come together to celebrate our diversity, our cultures, and really show the rest of the world why Tampa and the Tampa Bay region are such a wonderful place to live. We love our special events. We have over 1,000 a year just here in the city of Tampa. And really, the Gasparilla parades, as I said, not only begin that parade season, but have the most distinguished history. I often joke with people who are visiting our city, and I said, we love our parade so much that if you give us 2 weeks notice, we'll have a parade in your honor. So it is exciting to be able to start the parade season. We're hoping that we have the same weather for the parades that we have today here. And as our pirates pose a fun threat to our community, our #1 priority is ensuring that our events, especially our parades, are safe for you and for our entire community. As you see behind me, we have a number of different agencies represented, a number of federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies, and many other agencies as well. We don't just come together to ensure that our special events are safe. We work together each and every day to ensure that Tampa is one of the safest cities in the nation. And as we have seen with the events that occurred, the tragic event that occurred in New Orleans, this year we are approaching these events, if possible, with more vigilance than we have done in the years past. And we don't just meet and go over after action reports. We exercise approaches and scenarios to these events as well. And so what I am here today to say is that we are prepared for Gasparilla and other events that are going to follow. As I said, we work together each and every day on the federal, state, and local level, but also what I want to underscore is the responsibility of the community. Quite often, intelligence comes from the community up to local law enforcement and makes its way up through the different agencies to the federal level. And so we are asking those individuals that come out to celebrate this occasion with us to be vigilant as well. If you see something, say something. We will have officers, plenty of officers in uniform that you will see along the parade route. We'll have plenty of law enforcement personnel that you won't see that will also be along the parade route. But we ask individuals to reach out if they see something that is out of the ordinary, and don't feel like you're wasting an officer's time. Go up and tell them and let the officers decide and let the officers investigate. Now, we want everybody to stay informed. So as we do in all other situations, we are asking individuals to text a certain word to 888-777. And that word for the parade is Gasparilla. How convenient. So we're asking everybody to text Gasparilla to 888-777. And you will receive to-the-minute information updates on road closures, lost parents, safety concerns before you get to the parade, steps that you can take, and then during the parade, you can stay aware as well. So again, 888-777 to Gasparilla on your phone. And that will keep everyone in our community updated to the moment as they collect as many beads as they possibly can. And we know on parade day that those beads are worth millions of dollars. And so the more you collect, the richer you are on parade parade day. So we want to thank everybody here. I want to say thank you to the individuals that work beforehand in preparation for these large events, and then also work diligently during the events to ensure that they're safe and enjoyable for our community. So now let me turn it over to our chief, Lee Burkall.
Thank you, Mayor, and I appreciate you all coming here today as we talk about safety and preparations and our partnerships for the 2025 Gasparilla season. We understand the concerns that come with large gatherings, especially following the recent tragedies across the country, and our hearts go out to what happened in New Orleans. It's just another example of how a joyous occasion can turn into a tragedy in just an incident. As we prepare for our Gasparilla season, safety remains our top priority. While we host many large-scale events, Gasparilla is the city's signature event. The Tampa Police Department has vast experience in keeping public safe during events like this. And we could not do it without the collaboration and cooperation of our local, federal, and state partners. I am aware of a report from the FBI that a man behind the New Orleans attacks traveled to the Tampa area. We are not aware of any threats at this time, but we are working closely with the FBI. We want to assure the entire Tampa community and all parade goers that we have a comprehensive and vast safety plan in place. We are constantly training and evaluating our plans to make sure that we're prepared. In fact, last year, ahead of this exact season coming in 2024, we conducted a large-scale, multi-agency mass casualty exercise with our local, federal, and state partners. Conducting that type of exercise is a significant undertaking that not only better prepares our city, but it prepares your first responders for mitigation efforts in our planning, in our response, and in our resiliency. As part of that ongoing training, next week, we will host our annual tabletop exercise with all of our stakeholders that are involved in the planning process. You can expect to see a strong law enforcement presence with more than 20 additional agencies from across the Bay Area assisting us with this event. We will be monitoring from our real-time crime center, from the air, and even on boat. However, we also rely on our community. If you see something suspicious, report it to us so we can do something. We're all working very hard to make sure that that message goes out to all parade goers. This is also a time to remind everyone of the importance of celebrating responsibly, especially our young attendees. Since 2010, the Tampa Police Department has partnered with the E-Mystic crew of Gasparilla and Pepin Distributions to host our Responsibility Matters. This program visits students in area high schools and universities and educates them about the responsibility of celebrating safely and responsibly. This is the time to plan ahead, to stay informed. You heard the mayor say it. We're going to say it again because we want everybody informed. Text the word Gasparilla to 888-777. You'll get the notifications, updates, and all the events throughout the parade season. Also, take a picture of your kids the day of the events and what they're wearing. If you're separated, that picture will be invaluable to law enforcement in helping to reunite the families. And if you have a capability and technology, mark where you park your car. It may be difficult to find it after the parade. And as a reminder, the Children's Parade is an alcohol-free zone. The Children's Parade is an alcohol-free zone. For the other events, celebrate responsibly. We have a zero tolerance for underage drinking. Let me say that again. We have a zero tolerance for underage drinking. And adults should have a plan. Don't drive, don't boat, don't bike, or even ride a scooter under the influence. There's too many other alternatives. First responders will be working by land, air, and sea to make sure that we see yet another safe Gasparilla season. And as you can see behind us, we have an army of stakeholders here ready to make sure that this event is safe. Now I would like to bring up my partner in keeping our city safe. Please welcome Todd Alt. He's the Assistant Chief of Tampa Fire Rescue, and he'll be here on behalf of Chief Barbara Tripp.
Good afternoon. Todd Alt, Assistant Chief of Operations, Tampa Fire Rescue. We are thankful for the continued partnership with our local first responders, as well as our law enforcement agencies, in ensuring that everyone has a safe and fun time during these events. In preparation for this event, we plan, we train, numerous procedures are put into place, personnel are gathered there along the parade routes, and we'll have numerous personnel, fire and medical personnel throughout the parade route and in other areas to ensure people's safety. With regard to the medical component, we'll have people on foot, on golf carts, and behind me you'll see bike medics. We have our Marine units, and we will have other medical personnel and fire personnel in different areas to ensure communications. I'd also like to continue and highlight Tampa General. We will have nurses from Tampa General's emergency department working alongside our paramedics to ensure and assist with patient care and treatment. We'll have medical coverage and assistance on the waterways coinciding with TPD, Hillsborough County Fire Rescue, the Florida Fish and Wildlife and Emergency Services, and United States Coast Guard. With regards to emergency management aspect, we will be activating the Emergency Operations Center to enhance communications and resource needs. In the Emergency Operations Center, we will have representatives from the city, the county, the state, and federal agencies to provide immediate services in the event that an emergency should arise. For large-scale events like Gasparilla, we always take a forward posture to increase public safety and government operations to ensure our residents and visitors are safe and have a safe experience. From the Fire Marshal's Office, permitting, if you are planning to host a party in relation to Gasparilla, very important, if you are serving alcohol, if you are putting up fencing to eliminate egress, or if you are charging, you need to obtain a permit from the Fire Marshal's Office. You can obtain that permit by contacting the Tampa Fire Marshal's Office at area code 813-274-7000. And that is it. I'll like to introduce Lieutenant Andrew Grady with the United States Coast Guard.
Good afternoon. I'm Commander Ben Stanley on behalf of Lieutenant Grady from Sector St. Petersburg here. So I'd like to reiterate, you keep hearing it, the partnerships. I'd like to recognize the great partnerships we have here in the Tampa Bay region with all the city, local, and federal partners that we have. And then I'd like to highlight three main points for the Coast Guard in general, being maritime safety for the parade, a boating safety message, and then I'm going to add a quick note regarding the end of parade split. So as far as maritime safety for the parade, Coast Guard and partner agencies will enforce a federal safety zone during the Gasparilla ship parade. And what this entails is that any vessel joining us on the water will be required to maintain a 50-foot from any main parade vessels on the route. There will be multiple law enforcement and fire vessels enforcing the safety zone on the perimeter of the parade vessels to ensure the safety of the parade vessels, but also the boating public that will also be on the water. Coast Guard assets involved will be 3 Coast Guard small boats, Coast Guard cutter Vice, home ported out of St. Petersburg, and 28 Coast Guard law enforcement officers, which will be scattered about different agency vessels out on the water. For boating safety, before you get underway, please ensure that you have all proper safety equipment on your vessel. Also ensure you're in compliance with all local, state, and federal laws and regulations. And if you're operating a vessel, do not drink and boat. I'll say that again, do not drink and boat. Have a plan and do not drive a vessel or a vehicle while intoxicated. And finally, a note for the end of the parade split, once we get up here towards the convention center. Towards the end of the parade at the southern tip of Harbor Island, we ask that any vessels under 60 feet utilize Sparkman Channel to get up towards Garrison Channel and into downtown Tampa. There will be numerous vessels out there to divert traffic on the water and direct you to which way you should go. Thank you.
We can't host an event of this magnitude alone. And it's because of our close relationships with our partner agencies that are helping us. And one of our largest and most closest partners is the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. And we would not be able to do this event without their support and help. And today, speaking on behalf of Sheriff Chad Chronister is Major Hoops.
Good afternoon. While we are thrilled to participate in this event and celebrate with the community, our biggest priority still remains the safety of everyone involved. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office is prepared. As you'll see behind me, we'll be deploying multiple specialty teams and highly trained deputies, but our biggest strength remains our strong partnership with the Tampa Police Department. I'd like to recognize all the hard work that goes into the planning for this event. Hundreds of man-hours go into planning and coordination of an event of this magnitude. And the deputies and officers involved do a fantastic job. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to bring up our federal and state partners. We work closely with these agencies on a daily basis, not just parade time. And we graciously appreciate all their help. So first you'll hear from FBI Special Agent in Charge, Josh Del Manzo. Then you'll hear Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Cheryl Harrell from the ATF. After that, Assistant Special Agent in Charge of Homeland Security, Michael McCombs. Then FDLE Special Agent in Charge for the Tampa Bay region, Mark Brunel. And then Captain De La Rosa of the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission.
Good afternoon. I'm Josh Del Manzo, Assistant Special Agent in Charge over the Joint Terrorism Task Force for the FBI Tampa Division. I appreciate the opportunity to stand here today with our federal, state, and local agencies in preparation for another exciting, safe, and secure Gasparilla. Leading up to and during any major event, such as Gasparilla, the FBI provides intelligence and technical resources to assist our law enforcement partners in maintaining public safety. In response to the deadly New Year's attack on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, the FBI will commit additional intelligence, technical, and response resources to help bolster efforts in preserving public safety for the Gasparilla parades and festivities. As reported over the weekend, the subject in the New Orleans attack, 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, spent 3 days in the Tampa area from October 26th through October 28th, 2024. We are exploiting every lead to determine the reason for this visit. There's no indication at this present time of any significant contact with persons in the area. Anyone who may have had contact with the subject or information concerning his visit to the Tampa area, please call 1-800-CALL-FBI. The FBI has also set up a digital media tip line if you have photos or videos to share. Again, at this time, we have no indication of significant contact with persons in the area. Our Joint Terrorism Task Force continues to work in concert with our law enforcement partners to share information. Our goal is your safety. We thank you in advance for your valuable assistance, and we look forward to working with partners to ensure Gasparilla celebrations are safe and secure. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cheryl Harrell. I'm Assistant Special Agent in Charge in ATF Tampa Field Division for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. On behalf of the Department of Justice, we're proud to stand with Chief Barkow and others to support the city's most iconic events. When it comes to public safety, the men and women of the Tampa Police Department know exactly how to mobilize an all-star team of local, state, and federal agencies, integrate this vibrant community, and leverage everyone's unique capabilities, expertise, and support for a shared goal. ATF, in partnership with the other organizations here today, is committed to making sure Gasparilla 2025, from the Children's Parade to the Pirate Invasion to the Film Festival, is the safest ever. Put simply, Tampa is in good hands. We have plans for just about every scenario. If you see something along the way, please reach out to any of the law enforcement agencies here today. And most importantly, let's experience Gasparilla season for what it is. A fun time to spend with your friends and families and showcase what makes this city so special. Thank you. And next will be Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Michael McCombs from the Homeland Security Investigations.
Good afternoon. I'm Tampa Homeland Security Investigations Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Michael McCombs. As always, it's great to be here with you to enjoy the festivities of Gasparilla. As a principal investigative arm of the Department of Homeland Security, HSI takes a forward-leaning approach to identifying and mitigating threats before impacting our communities. HSI special agents continually develop and foster relationships with our state and local law enforcement and public safety partners to disrupt and dismantle those that threaten public safety. I'd like to highlight quickly that January is Human Trafficking Awareness Month, and we invite the public to take part in DHS Blue Campaign's Wear Blue Day this Saturday, January 11th. During this festival season, the key message from the Department of Homeland Security and all of our partners is if you see something, say something. You, the public, are our eyes and ears. So please have fun, be vigilant, and we'll all work together to keep our community safe. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Mark Brutnell with FDLE here in Tampa. As you can see, the partnerships are in place, the plans are in place. We have a great working group here. I can't underscore enough what the mayor and the chief spoke about. We need the public as our second set of eyes and ears, and as the mayor did say, the intelligence that bubbles up from the public. There's so many ways for you to give us information. There's old-fashioned tapping someone on the shoulder saying, hey, this doesn't look right, something seems weird, to calling, to emailing, lots of digital aspects. So I can't, again, stress enough, we need your help. Our plan is in place, the partnerships are here, we have a great plan, it's tried, it's true, there is no threat. Have a good time, but please, with all sincerity, if you see something, say something. Thank you.
Hey, good afternoon. Captain De La Rosa with FWC, and as it's been said, these partnerships that exist here in Tampa are some of the best, and Gasparilla is really what puts this on display for everybody. We see these partnerships come together during these events at press conferences like this, but really these partnerships exist day in and day out, and I can assure you that all these agencies stay plugged in, and from the FWC standpoint, we appreciate always being involved and being able to help our local partners here in Tampa and across the state. From the event itself, just as has been stated by everyone else, we want a safe event. We want that to be safe from the public safety standpoint. The FWC has committed 75 members of our agency, from officers, investigators, dozens of vessels, some that you'll see just like the Tampa Police Department said, some of our vessels you won't see. We'll be out looking for all threats that exist, and also to our core missions of boating safety. You heard from the Coast Guard, we don't want to see impaired operators. If you plan on operating a vessel, do not plan on consuming alcohol. Make sure you designate a sober operator and understand that we'll have zero tolerance for any of that occurs. We will make make arrests. Unfortunately, we make arrests every year. My goal always stands every year when we hold a Gasparilla to make 0 arrests for alcohol-related incidents. I hope this year can be that. We haven't experienced that yet, but I'm hoping that we can heed that message. Across the boating safety space, we hope that safety equipment will exist and everyone will heed the warnings that are given by the Coast Guard to operate safely in the safety zones and ultimately let us all have a successful and safe Gasparilla. Thank you.
A very important part of safety is educating the community, especially our teens. Regarding our zero tolerance of underage drinking, we have been successful in making sure this message gets heard and understood. And we've even been able to do that through our ongoing partnership with Pepin Distribution. To speak a little bit more about that, you will hear from Jeff Weckbeck. He's the VP of Sales for Pepin Distributing, followed by our Hillsborough County School Superintendent, Van Ayers, and Kevin Plummer, the head of Tampa Prep, and then Mystic Crew of Gasparilla, Captain Pittman.
Thank you, Chief. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jeff Weckback with Pepin Distributing Company. Pepin Distributing is a longtime sponsor of the Gasparilla Pirate Fest. We are always looking for ways to partner with our community in a fun and a responsible manner. For the past 15 years, Pepin has partnered with TPD and Hillsborough County Schools to educate and boost awareness of the Responsibility Matters program. This program focuses on the zero tolerance for underage drinking and the appropriate behavior for all pirates of all ages. Responsibility Matters is now synonymous with the Gasparilla Pirate Fest and continues to improve year over year. This is a true testament of partnerships working together for a greater purpose. In addition to Responsibility Matters, Pepin invests heavily in a similar program known as Decide to Ride. This program is a collaboration between Pepin, Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber, and is centered around the shared goal of ending drunk driving. The program focuses on changing behavior and connecting with consumers before they even take the first sip. If you don't bring your car, you can't drive it home. We have also partnered with the University of Tampa to offer discounted shared ride codes to students the day of the parade as yet another alternative method to get home safely. We are committed to fostering a culture of responsible drinking in Tampa Bay and making every experience with our products a positive one. Our collaborative measure of success for Gasparilla is ensuring safety and security. On behalf of everyone at Pepin Distributing, I would like to thank Mystic Crew, Event Fest, the Mayor's Office, all the first responders, and all the police municipalities that come together for this event led by the Tampa PD. We look forward to seeing everyone the day of the parade, where we will once again have our world-famous Budweiser Clydesdales kick off the parade.
Good afternoon. Van Ayers, Superintendent, Hillsborough County Public Schools. And as the Superintendent of Hillsborough County Public Schools, I want to take a moment first to acknowledge and thank our incredible partners in local law enforcement for their unwavering commitment to the safety and well-being of our students, families, and our staff. Thank you to Chief Burkall and TPD, Sheriff Chronister, Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, and our own Chief Newman and the Hillsborough County Public Schools security officers for their efforts to keep our students safe every day. Yes, Gasparilla is a time for celebration, but it's also a time for responsibility. I want to remind all of our students, that's all of our over 200,000 students and families, to prioritize safety during the festivities. Follow the guidelines shared by local law enforcement, and please use good judgment throughout the event. Thank you, and I wish everyone a safe and enjoyable Gasparilla.
Hello, my name is Kevin Plummer, head of school at Tampa Preparatory School. Many years ago, the City of Tampa, the Mayor's Office, the Tampa Police Department, Event Fest, Mystic Crew of Gasparilla, Hyde Park Neighborhood Association, Pepin Distributing, University of Tampa, Independent and Public Schools came together to address some of the challenges associated with Gasparilla Parade. At the time, our mayor, Jane Castor, was then Chief of Police, and she convened the very first meeting. Of great concern, underage drinking, public intoxication, and conduct detrimental to the health and safety and well-being of the Tampa community. The effort to come together led to the development of the Responsibility Matters campaign. Over the years, more partners and agencies have joined the cause and the effort, and through it all, the Tampa Police Department has presented Responsibility Matters campaign to all Hillsborough County high schools. The results of these efforts has transformed the Gasparilla Parade into one of the largest and safest parades in the nation. Arrests declined to the lowest level, and to be honest, the day is one of the great days to live, work, and play in Tampa. I stand with Mr. Ayers in the call for excellence, to be safe, and to be responsible in your choices and conduct from all high school students in Tampa. I want to personally thank the Mayor's Office, the Tampa Police Department, Tampa Fire and Rescue, the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, and all the agencies here today to make this event a priority and provide their service to make this day a great one. The public, independent, and faith-based schools of Tampa will do their part. We look forward to the Responsibility Matters assemblies, and we will share our expectations with our students for their efforts and their conduct. My hope is that our Gasparilla Parade tradition continues and that the day is filled with sun, fun, and most importantly, that we in Tampa remember this is our city. We look out for one another. We respect one another. We take care of our neighborhoods and our properties. And most of all, we remember that responsibility matters. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Drew Pittman, and I am serving as captain of the Mystic Crew of Gasparilla. I'd like to start by offering my deepest sympathy to all those impacted by the terrible attack in New Orleans over the New Year's holiday. The Mystic Crew of Gasparilla and Event Fest work closely with the City of Tampa leadership, the Tampa Police Department, the United States Coast Guard, and federal and state law enforcement agencies to develop a coordinated plan to promote responsible behavior and implement recommendations to improve the Gasparilla experience for all who attend, as well as those that live in the local neighborhoods and navigate the Tampa Bay waterways. In fact, nothing is more important to us than the safety and security of those who attend, as well as our local neighbors, both on land and sea, that are impacted by the event. So on behalf of the Mystic Crew of Gasparilla, Event Fest, and our participating Gasparilla sponsors, we salute Gasparilla's Responsibility Matters, Respect is the Key program, and the heavy lifting done by the Tampa Police Department. We thank all of our program partners for their passion and commitment to making a difference in our community and their support of Gasparilla. This responsibility and respect initiative is inspiring to us all as we celebrate a treasured Tampa event, and we look forward to continuing to make a difference in our Tampa Bay community, as well as sharing this program with the communities across the great state of Florida. Thank you very much.
Hola, permiso. Soy Sargento Rose Angela Campos y estoy aquí para hablar sobre nuestros preparativos de seguridad entrando a la temporada de Gasparilla 2025. Las alianzas que hemos establecido a lo largo de los años son significativas, especialmente después de las recientes tragedias en nuestro país. Nuestro corazón está con Nueva Orleans, ya que es otro ejemplo de cómo una ocasión alegre puede convertirse en trágica en un instante. Mientras nos preparamos para la temporada de Gasparilla, la seguridad es nuestra principal prioridad. Aunque nuestra ciudad alberga muchos eventos a gran escala, Gasparilla es el evento exclusivo de nuestra ciudad. El Departamento de Policía de Tampa tiene una amplia experiencia en mantener la seguridad del público durante eventos de gran escala, y eso incluye la colaboración con nuestros socios locales, estatales y federales. Estamos al tanto de un informe del FBI que indica que el hombre detrás de los ataques de Nueva Orleans viajaba al área de Tampa. No estamos al tanto de ninguna amenaza en este momento, pero estamos trabajando en estrecha con el FBI. Queremos asegurarle a la comunidad de la Bahía de Tampa y a todos los asistenciales asistentes al desfile que contamos con un plan de seguridad integral. Antes de la temporada de desfile al año pasado, participamos en un ejercicio de incidente con víctimas masivas a gran escala con nuestras agencias locales, estatales y federales. Estamos entrenando y evaluando constantemente nuestros planes de seguridad para asegurarnos de estar preparados. Puede esperar una fuerte presencia de oficiales con más de 20 agencias adicionales que proporcionar recursos y estaremos monitoreando el evento desde nuestro centro de delitos en tiempo real, por aire e incluso en barco. Sin embargo, también confiamos en nuestra comunidad. Si ve algo sospechoso, por favor díganos algo para poder hacer algo. Este es el momento de planificar con anticipación para mantenerse informado. Envíe un mensaje de texto con la palabra Gasparilla al 888-777 para recibir notificaciones de actualizaciones, alertas y información durante la temporada de eventos. Tome una foto de sus hijos el día del evento, así que si están separados pueda compartirla con un oficial. Cuando llegue, tome una foto del lugar en el que se estacionó o use una aplicación de mapas y haga una captura de pantalla de su ubicación. Como recordatorio, el desfile de niños es una zona libre de alcohol. Para otros eventos, celebre de forma responsable. Tenemos una tolerancia cero para el consumo de alcohol por parte de menores de edad. Todos los adultos deben de tener un plan: no conducir, navegar, montar en bicicleta o en motoneta bajo la influencia del alcohol. Hay muchas alternativas seguras. Los equipos de emergencia trabajarán por tierra, aire y mar para asegurarse de que tengamos otra temporada de Gasparilla segura. Y como puede ver hoy, detrás de mí, nuestros socios de seguridad pública están aquí otra vez este año para asegurarse de que el evento sea seguro y exitoso para todo el mundo. Gracias.
All right, as you have heard, this is an event, a signature event for the city of Tampa. And as events go on the annual basis, this is the largest event that we host, the Gasparilla Day Parade and the Children's Parade. And we are prepared for this event. Just as an example of how large Gasparilla Day Parade is, it is broken down into 3 individual sectors. You have the water invasion, you have the parade route, and you have the neighborhood group that includes traffic ingress and egress. And we have plans for each and every one of those. There will be officers visible in uniform. There will be officers that you don't see all along the parade route and in the neighborhoods. Also, technological solutions in cameras, in drones, ensuring that this is a safe event. It's a signature event. We want everyone to come out and enjoy the day's festivities, but we want to ensure that it is a safe event for everyone. And it will be safe, thank you to the relationships, again, that we build each and every day with our local, state, and federal partners. So with that, we will open it up to questions.
This might be for Chief Bertraw, but you talked about how you did a training, and you do training year to year just to make sure that people are as prepared as possible. Does that at all get adjusted when something like the New Orleans attack happens? Is there any type of things that need to change in preparation in that training period?
Yeah, we review after actions and we adjust regardless of what happened in New Orleans. I'll give you an example. In Boston, they did an after action the year before the Boston bombing, and they made adjustments, and it was based on heat. Had nothing to do with potentially what was about to come, and they added more medical tents near the finish line, unbeknownst about what was going to happen. And because they did that, for unintended consequences, they were even more prepared for what was about to come, and that saved lives. So constantly, every year, we're looking at after actions and making adjustments. We do an annual tabletop exercise to roundtable that with all of our stakeholders, and even last year, we did a full-scale exercise.
Going off of that, it was mentioned that the FBI is allocating more resources to Gasparilla specifically because of what happened in New Orleans. Are there any other tactics that are going to be in place specifically after local law enforcement had a chance to get more details about what happened on Bourbon Street?
You know, that's part of what our review is. And obviously going through and fine-tuning our plans is part of that process. And we'll have a tabletop exercise next week, early next week. And if anything comes of that, just like what it did in Boston, we will make those adjustments. And one thing that you said just brought it to my attention, which we did do last year, is no drones. It will be a drone-free zone. Thank you.
I have a question for the FBI Special Agent in charge.
I can help you out as much as possible.
You're the only one that can answer questions.
I don't think they're going to take any questions.
Has the FBI briefed you on where Jabbar was in Tampa back in October, and how do they know that information?
That I can't answer, but I can tell you that I am in constant contact with the FBI, and they're keeping me well informed.
When it comes to the issue of bollards, what assets are going to be used for Gasparilla's season? And the kinds that you have, were they either of the kind that were used in New Orleans?
So it's a great question, bollards. And if you've been to any of our events, you've seen bollards. And bollards that we have are in multiple facets, whether it's a car, whether it's a truck. You may have seen garbage trucks, sanitation trucks out there, meridian barriers, concrete barriers, water barriers. We use all of those.
For the Gasparilla Children's Parade, there are a lot of families that don't feel that it is really hospitable for families. You talked about it being an alcohol-free zone, and yet they still feel like issues persist. What kinds of assurances can you give to parents that it will be an enjoyable time for them and family appropriate?
Absolutely. And that's what we want. And that's why we're here today, is to reassure everybody. We're going to have thousands of officers out for this parade. There'll be an officer anywhere and anywhere, a deputy. If you see something, no matter how small it is, say something so we can do something. And that could be calling 911. That could be texting 911. Or it could be even sending us a picture through tip 411. We need that information, but we will be out there and we will be enforcing it, and we will be in full force. Okay?
Chief, the FBI also sent a bulletin with a warning about copycats at the New Orleans. How high do you assess that threat to be? And given that vehicle ramming is such a sophistication type of crime, how do you prepare for that? And is there any discussion about changing the barricades and moving them further off the neighborhood?
No, it's a great question. And of course, we're always concerned about copycats, regardless of the incident that happened. And looking at our barrier plan is something that we are doing, and that's something that we will be discussing in our tabletop. And we will make adjustments if we feel the need to.
Chief, is there anything in that after-action report? I don't know if it's come out from New Orleans yet, but if it has come out, is there anything that you've been able to take away from what happened in New Orleans that you would apply to this large celebration?
I don't believe it's out that quick. If it is, I haven't seen it yet, and maybe it just came out in the last 20 minutes. But yes, regardless of the incident, any after action, we review and analyze and see if there's any lessons learned for us. Yes.
I think what happened in New Orleans spooked a lot of people, but so did the amount of shootings that we saw in Tampa for New Year's. We had those mass amount of crowds out. What can you say to the people that are worried about their sense of safety in Tampa and carry that to Gasparilla?
One shooting is too much. And if we could reduce all shootings, we would. But the Tampa Police Department and this community is a great community, and that's why our violent crime is down significantly, and we're going to continue that. And if there's any way to get this city completely rid of crime, I'll be the person to do it.
And then what's your message about gun violence in relation to Gasparilla?
My message is gun violence is down in the city of Tampa. It's down significantly. And we're working on our annual report, and we'll soon be publishing those numbers. But again, it doesn't matter. If it's down and there's still one gun crime, that's one gun crime too much. That's why we need the community to report suspicious activity, no matter how minor it is. You can even text 911 now if you don't want to call, but share us that information so we can do something about it.
My last question, if something were to happen, one of the things that I found most interesting about this press conference was all of the partners and everybody that's going to be ready, federal, state, city, and if something, if a major tragedy does happen, kind of talk about that.
That's important. That's where basically I come back to the 4 C's of mass incident response, and that's command, coordination, collaboration, and communication. And you can't have any of those without communication. And that's what the Tampa Bay area is so good with, is communicating, because it doesn't take a parade like us to have these relationships. So we're constantly communicating and talking, and Tampa is well prepared. Thank you. I was having a hard time hearing you. The shooting about when? In Tampa? We actually are working diligently on leads. If anybody saw anything that day, which is something we put out recently, to share it with us. If there's video out there of anybody that might be involved, to please share it with us. Thank you.